You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, because we are diving in today to an important topic around freelance copywriting for anyone who is curious about a career they can do from home as their own boss, or who has already taken the leap and started their copywriting business and is feeling a little bit overwhelmed or wondering how to scale to those elusive six-figure years. Today, I'm going to share what to expect in your first year as a copywriter. And this is coming from my experience becoming a copywriter after years in corporate America, and then going on to build a team and scale an agency to multi-six figures even in its first year. So I want to share for you what a realistic first year looks like, what you're working on in the first year, what you can expect around clients, and then a few ideas for how you can kind of give yourself some zen in the process and not let everything feel so new and uncomfortable. All right, so here we go. Let's get into it. So the first thing that happens in the first year is obviously a lot of setup. So you're probably going to be creating some portfolio pieces, some writing samples, maybe even a website, although that's not essential at all. But you want to get something that can show prospective clients your writing abilities, so that as soon as you connect with someone online or at a networking event and they say, "Oh, you're a copywriter, I'd love to hear more," you have something to follow up and send them and show them how amazing your abilities are. Now, these can be as simple as a few blog posts that you've written. It could be social media posts, a few emails, maybe a web page or two. And you don't have to have these. If you don't already have them, just go make them. Get some samples together. If you need help, I obviously teach all of this in my programs, which I'll drop a link to below, as well as some free resources to get you started. But the first kind of part is pulling together your business presence. So you'll do a lot of setup in terms of thinking through, your writing samples, maybe what contract template that you will use when someone wants to work with you. You will get together. You'll think about, how do I want to set up my rates? Do I want to charge hourly? Do I want to charge like a package rate or flat fee for a project? So it's kind of like all those setup questions and considerations is the first step, I would say. The second step will be to go out and get the clients. And this will be heaviest in your first year. So one of the amazing things about copywriting as a business that you can do as your own boss from anywhere is that once you get your first few clients, you can build long-term relationships with them so that you don't have to constantly be going out and getting new clients. And it only takes a few clients to really book full. So while you could, of course, take on random projects here and there that are smaller, what I really encourage my students to do is to look for those opportunities where a client has 10 hours of work a week, because then it only takes a few of those clients before you hit that 40-hour mark and you are completely booked full. You've replaced another 9 to 5 hours-wise and probably way more income-wise. So someone shared that with me once early in my career, and I thought that was so helpful, so I want to pass it on for you as well, that you don't need 100 or even 10 clients to build a successful copywriting business. Even if you get a few with a substantial amount of work for you to do, you can be booked very, very quickly. But that first year will take going out and getting those first clients. And, in my programs, I break down every single week another way to go and do that, that doesn't rely on social media and wondering when clients are going to come to you. You can go and directly behind the scenes connect with them and get started. So kind of remembering that too, I think can help. That'll be heaviest in your first year. So if you're someone who loves that, great. And if you're someone who's like, I just want to get my work and be heads down and not have to think about going and getting clients again, just some encouragement there that after you get through those first few clients in your first year, you can really have those clients for years to come and not have to spend much of your time marketing after that. It's pretty amazing if you think about it compared to other businesses where you're always going out and getting your next client. You're always selling like another session or a coaching package. Or if you can get a client that says, we need 5 blog posts a month for the next 6 months or forever, great, good. Then you can be that person. You can always count on those hours and blog posts, right? So that's something that I think that you'll do the most that first year. And then from then on, it can be a lot lighter. You just kind of put your game cap on and are like, okay, we just got to get through this. And then we have the clients and the whole business. Another thing to remember too is that you probably won't need to, like, you'll probably be able to earn more per hour than you are in a 9-to-5. So copywriters, if you know a little bit of content strategy like I teach, you can earn $50 to $100 an hour for copywriting. And so if you think about $50 an hour, that's $100K a year. Like, you can do the math if you want. I've already done it a million times, so trust me, or do it yourself on a calculator. But for 40 hours a week and a standard standard year, that's $100K. So you want to start charging $100 an hour, you're making $200K, multi-6 figures. Or you can reduce your hours and hit an income range that feels really good to you, as well as some more balance in how much you actually want to work. All right, but to summarize, I'd say first thing would be setup, second thing would be client acquisition, and then the third thing is you're going to spend some time writing and figuring out what kind of clients you like, what kind of industries you enjoy, and that's a lot of the first year process. So you'll be able to begin getting your work in, and when someone hires you to write a few blog posts a month, that's a big part of your year, and every year after is just writing the blog posts and delivering the work to them. And along the way, you will find information about, what you really enjoy the most, what kinds of clients you love, what kind of industries you want to lean into more. So that's a big part of the first year as well. And I want to offer you something else that can be helpful, or that was for me early on. And that is kind of like a little bit of permission to let it be messy in that first year. So you are going to be figuring things out, like you're building a business. You're giving yourself complete freedom to work from anywhere on any schedule. And so for that reward, it will take a little bit of discomfort in that first starting phase. But just remember that it's not forever, and that a lot of these pieces that you set up, you can do once and then be done and use them for the rest of your business. So once you set up a contract once, it might take you an hour, or you can download a template online, but then you have it for the rest of your business. You writing a few samples or a portfolio might take you a few hours, right? It might take you a week, but you have it for the rest of your business and the rest of your life to use that. And so that's kind of something to remember for this first year, is like, yeah, it might take a little time, but is that time worth the freedom on the other side, when you can work from anywhere, when you can choose your own schedule, when you can feel fulfilled having something of your own, when you can make money that you didn't even make in your 9-to-5 and you're doing it as your own boss? Usually it is absolutely worth it, right? And then the second little mindset piece I'll give you is that it is generally hardest the first time you do anything. So I always remember that, even with new clients to this day, when I have, 15 years of experience in this industry, it is still always hardest the first few times that I write a piece for a client. And so I'd offer that to you as well, where if you feel like it takes a little bit longer the first time, or you feel like you're not sure why it feels so clunky when you're getting to research a new industry for the first time, just remembering to yourself, like, have that mantra of, it's okay if it's hard the first time. It always is. And you'll be amazed how a month in or a few months in, you know that client so well. You don't have to look up things you used to look up. It's so much faster. I just feel like that pattern happens to me over and over again. And so now I've just come to accept it and to know, oh, there's nothing wrong with my business, with the client, with the situation, with the setup. It is just always a little bit harder the first time, and it gets easier. Okay, so just a little from one writer to another, that is something that's really helped me. And then I want to end this video sharing what this can actually look like in practicality. So, I've shared about my experience, but I want to give you someone else, because this one writer came from having no experience in copywriting, in content marketing, in SEO, anything like that. She'd spent years in healthcare as a nurse and a physician's assistant. So completely different worlds, right? And she found herself juggling work and daycare and kids. And she heard about me talking about copywriting and content marketing and what a great business it could be, and how much I want to share it with everyone who is open to being their own boss, because there's nothing greater than sharing freedom with someone else. And so she learned copywriting and content marketing. And in less than 1 year, this is what happened. I wrote these down. She is making 3 times as much writing from home. She has written blog posts for a health site with 15 million readers. She is helping thousands of readers through her words. She is able to work while her little babies nap. She is able to work from home versus go into a clinic every single day, driving, commuting, dropping kids off. She has extra money, and in this year has been able to purchase a new home, a new car, do a remodel, and she knows how to get clients and new income anytime. And she's actually scaling to build a team at this stage. And so this is what it can look like in 1 year. If you are dedicated and you take the time it takes and you just go for it. She is a mom of 2 young kids, so she's busy. She didn't have a lot of time. She was brand new. She didn't know anything about content marketing. And she was still able to do this in less than a year. And imagine what you could do in 1 year. I think it can be hard to imagine finding the time to learn something new, or invest in an upfront cost of training, or risk doing something different. But if within a year, you knew that you would have the freedom to work from anywhere, to be able to completely design your schedule, to take days off when you want to take a vacation with your family, to have extra wiggle room financially, or pay off debt, or whatever your financial goals are, and then to just have something that you love building every day, would that be worth the initial discomfort? I think it absolutely would. At least it was for me. It was for me, and I'm so grateful I took that chance a few years ago. So just want to offer that as inspiration and encouragement for you, that at the outset, looking at a year can feel like a lot of time, and day to day, it's hard to see the changes. But when you look back on a year's time, a lot can happen. A lot. And so those are some ideas for what would happen in your first year copywriting. You'll get all set up. You'll do the things once, and then you'll have them for the longevity of your business. You'll spend a little bit more time at the front end getting your clients, and then you'll begin writing. And as soon as you start writing, you're going to be bringing in income. So you'll see that money hit your bank account. You'll feel so proud that you went out and got that yourself, and you'll be able to bring in more and more and more. And eventually you'll book full. It could be all within that year. It could be within a few months. It just depends how hard and fast you want to run at it. And then you're pretty much good. You're booked full, so you're then in a position to raise your rates, to grow a team, and whatever you want your business to be. So I hope that gives a little bit of insight and perspective from both my perspective and then from someone else who is completely new to the world of copywriting. And if this is helpful, check out the free resources that I'll drop below, and they will point you in the direction of my program, where if you do want to start a copywriting business over the next 8 weeks, you will get all the setup you need, all the client getting strategies, all the writing lessons that you need, and you can build whatever your dream business looks like. If this episode resonated with you, I have 2 things you are going to love. One is a Bright Life workbook full of practices you can use to get clear on what your version of your brightest life looks like and fearlessly move towards it every day. And another is a copywriter starter kit full of beginning steps to create a copywriting business that gives you the freedom to travel the world working from anywhere, to replace a corporate salary as your own boss, and to do creative work that lights you up every day. It's lessons I've learned in creating my own content business, and I'm excited to share it with you if you're curious about doing the same. I will link these in the show notes. I hope these serve you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week as we all pursue our biggest, brightest lives together.